Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Um, Welcome to the Jingle Mingle fall event. This is so much fun. I always love being a presenter here. And so I'm super happy to be here with you guys today. My name is Miss Tracy. My business is Miss Tracy Creates, and I love all things crafty. I really do. I'm a maker at heart. I love everything crafty. And today I'm going to be sharing a napkin art workshop with you. So come on in and say hi. Let me know that you're out there. And I'm going to give my team a minute to share this over into the Jingle and Mingle Facebook group. And yeah, just come on in, say hi. Let me know that you're out there watching. I am streaming right now onto my Facebook page, sharing it into the Jingle and Mingle Facebook group, and then also streaming onto my YouTube channel. So, hello, everybody. Hello. I see some people watching in all the places. That's wonderful. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. And you guys, I hope that you are super excited about the Jingle Mingle presentation. Jonica went before me, and if you didn't get a chance to see hers, you can always pop over into the Jingle Mingle Facebook group. It's a public group, and you can watch the replay. But she put together something so yummy, like literally when I was watching, just kind of made my mouth water. And then after me is another presenter. So for you to go see the other presenters of the day, you'll hop on over into the Jingle and Mingle Facebook group. So my team will be posting that link to the Jingle and Mingle public Facebook group here in the comments today. That way you'll know where you need to go next. Okay. So, but for the next hour, you're going to be with me, and I'm so happy and thankful for that. So, I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. Well, let me say one more thing just before I don't want to forget. Did you guys know there's a grand prize? Yes, there is a very nice grand prize for anyone that's watching, our participants that are watching today or watching the replay. There is a link when you go over into the Jingle and Mingle Facebook group. There is a link over there. It's saved under featured, I believe. And there's a link to register for the grand prize. Okay. And yeah, you definitely want that grand prize because each one of us as presenters donated something towards the grand prize. So it's a big deal. It's big, like lots of happy. You will receive lots and lots of happy. And we all want that, right? So don't forget about that. All right. Good morning. Good morning, Sally. Hi, Christine. Good to see you watching over on YouTube. Hello, Melanie. Hi, Pat. Leanne's with us. Thank you, Leanne, for being here. Hi, Janet. Hello, Donna, Melinda, Yvonne, Catherine, so many of you. Okay, yes, way too many for me to say hello to everyone. But just know I'm saying hello to each of you, okay? Hello, everyone. And that goes to all of you. I also want to say hey to everybody that's going to be watching the replay. I know we get a lot of replays watched over the weekend after these Jingle and Mingle events. So hey to the replayers, all right? So, oh, good. Okay, my team just posted the Jingle Mingle giveaway. It is through King Sumo, so don't think it's it's not spam or anything like that. That's where you can register for the grand prize. Okay, yeah, it's a big deal. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. So I want you guys to make sure you get your name in there for the grand prize drawing. Okay. All right. Oh, I love that. Let's see. I'm going to pop Laura Lee's comment up here. She says, "Good morning, Miss Tracy. Nothing better than fall rain, a cup of tea, and Miss Tracy in the Miss Tracy morning tutorial." That's so sweet. That's so sweet. Thank you for saying that. Okay, so let's talk about our project. I'm going to share a napkin art project with you. We did kit these up for you. For those of you, we have a lot of Jingle Minglers out there that love to purchase our kits. And so I have two kit options for you today. Both of these feature, I call them my advice canvas kits. Okay, they both feature really cute advice. I think these are so fun. Let me tell you where these came from. Way back when when I had my own brick and mortar creative arts studio and store. We taught classes, we did all the things there. Well, one of our projects were these advice canvases, but they were larger. We printed out all the little pieces of advice and all the little things. And I was like, as I was thinking this year, I'm fast forward several years. I'm designing my own napkins now, which is great, which means I can actually create these. I call them crafters napkin bundles. I used to just call them a designer napkin bundle, but now I'm calling them crafters napkin bundles because I'm actually designing them sometimes for specific projects that we're going to make. And they're really designed more for the crafter, the maker that wants to create with napkins, that wants to collage with napkins, that wants to do all the things. And it's super, super fun. Those of you that are watching and are over in the Jingle Mingle group, we're going to offer you a special invitation to come and join the Napkin Club if you would like to. After watching how this goes together, you may be intrigued to want to work with napkins. So the advice napkins came from my past, right? From past projects. Some of you watching you were there with me back in the day, right? You were local, you came and took classes, all the things. So I'm going to read the first one to you as advice from a jack-o'-lantern. We made these separate kits because I know not everybody does Halloween or decorates for Halloween. But this is the Halloween kit. And this is advice from a jack-o'-lantern for Halloween. This one is advice from a pumpkin for fall. Okay, so I'm going to read through the advice really quickly before we get started. So advice from a jack-o'-lantern, really cute napkin art, really cute frame here. You're going to have a couple of random little cute spooky friends to put. Everybody will get the little jack-o'-lantern here. Instead of you do have some ribbon in your kit, ribbon and twine. We're also including some fabric. So that's another love of mine. So we're going to incorporate some fabric into these as well. So advice from a jack-o'-lantern. All right. The first bit of advice, don't flip your lid. Don't flip your lid. It's not a good idea. Never let your light go out. Never let your light go out. Find your own porch to sit on. Be too cute to spook. That's a biggie for me with Halloween. Never stop smiling and enjoy the view. So the cute thing about these canvases is this, okay? These are chunky canvases, so they have kind of they stand on their own. They're a great little shelf sitter. Could be cute on somebody's desk. Could be cute on a tier tray. Everybody has room for a little something like this. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you one other thing that I think would be adorable to do, especially on the Halloween canvas. Get yourself a little tea light, right? The little battery operated tea light. I'll turn it on, but I don't think it's going to glow much because of all the lights that I have on me. But if you get yourself a little tea light and you set it in the back of your canvas, your canvas is going to glow. It's going to glow. And so really, I think that would be super cute to do with the Halloween canvas. Your little jack-o'-lantern will glow. Everything will kind of glow. And I think that'll be really fun. You can see here, I've done a lot of, I've added stickles. I even added some glossy accents and made it kind of gooey looking, like drippy gooey. On purpose for our advice from a jack-o'-lantern. Okay, really, really super cute. Love the pop of purple in here. Okay, so advice from a pumpkin. And advice from a pumpkin is actually the one I'm going to make with you today. So advice from a pumpkin, really cute. This could stay out all the way through Thanksgiving. Advice from a pumpkin, be well-rounded. That's good advice. Get plenty of sunshine. Be outstanding in your field. Give thanks for life's bounty, have thick skin, keep growing, and dream big. Okay, so I just think this one is super, super cute as well. Definitely more fall feeling. You're going to have several of these little wooden leaf cutouts in your kit. You're going to have some fall leaves in your kit. Again, we're going to play with ribbon. We're going to play with fabric. Fabric here, fabric for the bow. And you're going to have some jute in this kit as well. Okay. Really, really fun. Both of these just super fun. We still have some kits available. And we have posted the link over in the comments for you for that. And I think I posted it up in the description on this post as well. Okay, they're just so much fun. So let me tell you, the fun continues because we actually are going to offer another set of advice canvases a little later as we get closer to the holidays. We have advice from a Christmas tree and we have advice from a snowman. So just so you know, those are coming, and they're just super cute. Now, if you're a member of my napkin club, you got these napkins. You got these napkins back in July as part of our Frames and Phrases holiday edition. So yes, you have them, and so you could easily recreate some canvas art with those in your bundle as well. Okay, all right. So we need to get started. They only allow me so much time. Again, there is our Halloween, so cute. And here is our fall advice from a pumpkin. So I'm going to just scoot these kind of out of the way here a little bit. And I'm going to show you what the kit will look like. This is what the kit looks like. Okay. Here, I'll put it over here. Advice from a pumpkin. Your napkin will be in front. You have your chunky canvas, and then all your other little extras are in a little bag right back here inside the canvas. Same thing with the Halloween one. Okay, all your goodies are in here. All right, so let's get to work. We don't have to paint today. We're just working right on the white of the canvas. So no painting needed today, which is nice. I'll pull my trash can over here a little closer. All right, so here's all our little goodies, our little goodie bag. We'll put that to the side. The first thing we're going to work on is going to be the canvas itself. Okay, if you have questions along the way, please ask them. I have team members in the chat that are watching. If you want information about the Napkin Club, if you want information just about me, I'd love for you to follow me on my Facebook page or my YouTube channel. And I'm generally live every week, and I do a Friday craft and chat at 11 a.m. Central every Friday as well. So what are you going to get with this napkin? Well, you're actually going to get 4 pieces of advice, right? 4 advice from a pumpkin napkins. And we really wanted to make sure that you got an entire napkin for this because y'all, these are such cute little gifts. Maybe you just want to give a little gift to your coworkers that, you know, I'm thankful for you, or somebody else in your life that you're thankful for. These are just so cute. Maybe it's your hairstylist or a neighbor or a best friend, right? They're just so adorable. So you'll have some extra napkin here. Always good to have an extra just in case you have an oopsie, but also great to have some extras to create some of your own. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you what you're going to need. We're going to just kind of take this step by step. I am going to be using Mod Podge Matte today. It's the yellow label. It's my favorite for napkinizing anything on a canvas. Okay, on canvas, I really like the Mod Podge Matte. Not a fan of the glossy. The glossy has a tendency to stay kind of sticky even after it's dry. So I kind of steer clear of I think it's like a reddish orange label, the glossy. Really love the matte for napkin art, especially on canvas. Okay, so I've got a little bit of Mod Podge here. I'm going to show you a couple different ways to separate your napkin. You do need to take the plies off of your napkin. All right, this is going to be important. All right, so first method is my method. This can be your method too. Some people are grossed out by it, and that's okay. All right, it's okay. It's my DNA, so it's all right. I tap my finger and my thumb on my tongue and then just press my fingers together, and it works perfectly. See, there's 2 plies. Do want to show you that. It's a 3-ply napkin, so you need to remove 2 plies to get to this top ply. We only want to use the top ply. Now, if your spit isn't as sticky as mine, and I've been told that by lots of people, this is what you're going to do. You're just going to get just a tiny little drop of Mod Podge on your finger. Just kind of rub it around and do like this. You want to use it, you want it to feel sticky, not gluey, not wet, but sticky. And then same kind of thing. You can come over, just stick this, right? There's one. There's 2. Okay, so 2 ways. You can decide which way works best for you. All right, so we're going to take those off. You'll need to do that with the Halloween one as well. Okay. All right, so now we have our pretty little tissue here. I'm going to grab a paintbrush. I am not really a big fan of using the black foam brushes in Mod Podge. I don't know if you've noticed as when you're crafting, but a lot of times something about the Mod Podge and those black foam brushes, it kind of eats at the foam, and you wind up with little black specks all over your project. So I would tell you to steer clear of the black foam craft brushes and just use a regular paintbrush. They're very easy to clean up. I just clean up my Mod Podge brushes with Dawn soap and warm water. So I'm just applying a nice, healthy amount of Mod Podge over the top of my little 6x6 chunky canvas. All right. Now, I want you to notice that this frame is offset. Okay, it's offset. So you're not going to center the frame. We're going to center the whole thing. And so I like to kind of just lay my piece down and then kind of drag it. There we go, because I want the whole pumpkin. So do you see how the frame is kind of offset? That's on purpose. There we go. So again, just kind of lay that just down right onto our canvas. Now, the next thing we can do, and this is, to me, this is a game changer when it comes to napkin art. And I'm teaching you as if you were a brand new beginner, okay? Like you've never seen anybody use napkins before for art, that kind of thing. So this is what I like to use, my friends. It's called deli bakery wrap. I'm going to show you right there. Deli bakery wrap. You can get it on Amazon. All kinds of different brands. It just pops out like a tissue. Okay. But it's a plastic sheet that doesn't stick to itself. You know, like saran wrap, some plastic sheets stick to themselves. This does not. So I'm going to lay this down on top of my canvas here. And then I'm going to take my 3 fingers. I usually use 3 fingers. It's this fatty part of your fingers, right? And I'm going to start kind of in the center and just kind of a soft circular motion. And I'm going to get the center smoothed over here first. That's where all my words are. So I want to make sure that comes out really well. Then you can start smoothing out to the outside edges. Okay, just smoothing out to the outside edges. And something about these plastic sheets, these deli bakery wrap sheets, just really help you get a really nice smooth adhesion, a great little lift. Just works really, really well. If I was to smooth this napkin without having this plastic wrap on, my napkin would tear. Okay, so really, really love using these. And like I said, you can find them on Amazon. There's all different brands. When one brand's out, I just choose another brand. But as long as they're deli bakery wrap sheets, they don't stick to each other. They work really, really well. Okay. All right. So next thing I'm going to do is I have a choice I can make. I can either, because you'll see the napkin is wider than the canvas. I'm going to just flip this over because it's white. It's just going to disappear. It just kind of becomes part of the canvas. You'll see the texture through it. It kind of becomes invisible. So I'm just going to put a little bit of Mod Podge along the sides of my canvas here. That way you don't have to have sandpaper. You don't have to have anything. And then I'm just going to smooth. You can bring your canvas upward and just kind of smooth. I'm going to do it to all 4 sides. And you're going to wind up with these little, they look almost like little wings on the corners. And all we're going to do to those is just trim those off. All right. So now I'm going to take off my plastic wrap sheet. And when you take this off, I want you to do it gently. Okay, be very gentle. And you're going to see, do you see that there's Mod Podge on my plastic sheet? You should see Mod Podge through on your plastic sheet. If you don't sweat it the first time, but just know next time you may want to use a little bit more Mod Podge. I like to make sure that it's all really well, very, 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 very well secured, right? Because if it's not, that's when you start to get those bubbles, those wrinkles, especially when you put the top coat on. So I'm going to dry this. So you should always see a little bit of Mod Podge coming up on your plastic sheets. So the next thing I'm going to do is dry this. Now I'm using a heat tool just to speed the drying process along. You don't have to have this. You could just be patient, but I'm not. I'm not a patient crafter. If you have a small portable blow dryer or something, you could use that too. But I want to dry this before I put the top coat on, because you're going to have you're going to have, I want your decoupage process to come out perfectly, right? If the bottom coat of Mod Podge is not dry yet, sometimes if you put the top coat on too early, then the napkin tries to lift. And if you didn't get enough Mod Podge underneath it, right, then that's sometimes where you get those bubbles. And that's true of anything you're decoupaging, okay? Paper, fabric, whatever it is. It's a good idea to dry. Make sure the bottom coat is thoroughly dry before you put a top coat on, okay? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take my little scissors here before I put my top coat on. And I'm just cutting off those little wings. There we go. And now I'm going to put my top coat on. Now I'm doing this because I want to protect my napkin art. I want to protect this adorable advice from a pumpkin napkin art. I have grandchildren and they love to pick up things and they love to look at things. And, you know, you want to protect it from the Cheeto fingers and all those kinds of things. So by adding a top coat of Mod Podge, it's protecting it, protecting that napkin. It's also sealing the napkin, because if you wanted to maybe come in and do a little bit of pen work, add some stickles, or again, protect it from those Cheeto fingers, right? The Cheeto dust, because we do need to seal it. We need to protect the napkin art. What is a napkin's purpose in life? Yeah, I say this a lot on my page, but it's important for you to remember. A napkin's purpose in life is to absorb. So we need to seal the napkin so that it cannot absorb the Cheeto dust or the ink from the pen, right? If we're doing any pen work, things like that. Okay, and it's just a light coat. It's going to go on kind of milky, but once it's dry, it's going to be crystal clear. Okay, yes, it will be crystal clear. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my glue gun for our next steps here. And again, I'm going to dry this, and then we're going to move on to our next step. Good morning, everybody. Yep, if you have grandkids, you know what I mean. They want to get in your pantry and they want to get snacks and they want to touch all your stuff. Yeah, and that's okay with me. That's okay with me. So we're just going to let this dry. In fact, I think I'll let it continue to dry a little bit on its own. And let's go ahead and dig into our bag of goodies here. So let me show you what else is going to be in your kit. You're going to have a red leaf and an orange leaf, a rusty orange and a pretty kind of cranberry red fall leaf. You're going to have an assortment of 1, 2, 3, 4 wooden leaves. Okay, they're going to vary in style. It's not going to matter. Fall leaves come in all shapes and sizes. You're also going to have some fabric and some jute. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off. This is just some jute, which I love to use on fall projects. and then some really cute fabric again with fall leaves. Okay, isn't that cute? Fun, fun, fun. All right, well, let's go ahead while our Mod Podge is drying over here. Let's talk about these wooden leaves here. They're just what I call naked wood right now. They're just naked wood, just the raw wood. But I wanted to give them some color. So I'm actually going to use chalk inks. I'm a paper crafter also, so I use chalk inks a lot. I have amaretto here. I picked out an orange here, pumpkin pie, a reddish one called barn board. I just picked out ones. This is actually a brand new one because my other one, I use my browns so often. But these are just chalk inks. Now, you may not have chalk inks in your stash, but you might have some other kind of ink. You might have some paint in your stash. You could paint these. You could dry brush them and paint them. You can apply, like I said, you can apply ink to them. Any kind of ink. If you have a little dauber of some kind, or even like a little makeup sponge, you could use that. Sometimes I literally will just come in and just ink straight from the pad. So any kind of ink, paint, however you want to get some color on these. I kind of like inking on wood just because you can kind of go like darker around the edges. I like seeing a little bit of the wood grain, so I think that looks really cool. So I'm going to do 2 of these in the brown color. I'll do this one. Any brown, I mean, any fall colors really, right? Anything that's fallish colors. And I'm just going to do this just straight from the ink pad. You only need to do one side. And then, like I said, if you don't want to use your pad directly on it, you could come in, you could just use a piece of like a dauber, or this is just a piece of makeup foam, makeup sponge. Just want to give them some of their own color. Make them look pretty for fall. We're also going to put a little bit of this on our canvas. So I'll explain that here once our Mod Podge is dry. And, you know, if you put on a color of ink and you're like, oh, I don't like that, it's okay. You just ink over the top of it or paint over the top of it, or just turn it over and do something on the other side, right? Okay. So I did 2 brown, one kind of orangey, golden orangey kind of color, and this kind of reddish color. And yes, it's going to get on my fingers. It's always, I am such a messy crafter. Any other messy crafters out there? We put a little bit of water on this. I usually have some baby wipes here, but I'm out. Gonna get some more. I feel like if your hands don't get messy, you've done something wrong. That's my philosophy. Oh yeah, Lori Lee, you can use your chalk inks on all kinds of things. Canvases, not just paper. They're not just for paper, or at least mine aren't. I use mine for all kinds of things. Okay, so I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to go back to my canvas here. And again, just want to make sure that this is dry. We are going to do some inking on the canvas, but not just yet. Okay, I want to show you how I'm putting the ribbon. I'm sorry, how I'm putting the fabric around the edges. The reason I say ribbon is a lot of times I do put ribbon around my chunky canvases, but I just wanted to show y'all, especially if you're a multi-purpose crafter, if you've got fabrics, I mean, fabrics can be anything, right? Old denim jeans, burlap, like it can be all kinds of things. I want to show you how I like to attach fabric to canvas. Okay. So everybody's going to have this strip, and it's quite a long strip because part of this is going to be your bow. and part of it is going to go around the canvas. Okay. So I'm just showing you that this is all dry. It's all nice and dry. Now, right now it looks very white. So like I said, we're going to add we're going to have a little fun doing some inking here in just a bit, but I want to go ahead and put my fabric around the edges first. So I'm going to turn the canvas upside down. I always like to start on the bottom side of the canvas. Okay. Janine, you're with me. If you're not making a mess, you're not having enough fun. Yeah, totally. So instead of trying to glue fabric to your canvas, you guys, you've already have your Mod Podge out. You used your Mod Podge for your napkin art. We're going to use Mod Podge. So I'm just going to apply my Mod Podge. I'm going to do one side at a time. Just a nice little coat. Fabric and Mod Podge go together really, really, really nicely. So I'm going to take my little edge of my fabric here, and I'm just going to lay it right down. Think of it like a little roadway, right? Just a little roadway, and then just smooth it across. And if you've got ink on your hands, this is another place that you could pull in the fabric sheet, you know, if your hands are already a little messy. And I'm just going to keep going. And it's great because sometimes, like if you're trying to use hot glue or even craft glue, the craft glue is so thick sometimes that it will come through the canvas, and even Mod Podge, come through the fabric. Even Mod Podge does sometimes, but you really just need a thin coat, and it works beautifully. And it will stay, like it's going to stay. You know how like if it was hot glue, sometimes you get big blobs. So because fabric is fairly thin, I really like using Mod Podge. Very, very simple. So some of you might be watching out there that are in my fabric fan club. I hope this gives you some inspiration of what to do with your scraps, right? Those scraps of fabric you might have laying around. Lace is another good one, even though we're not putting lace on this for fall, but lace, burlap, denim, other types of fabrics are great with this technique as well. All right, now when we get to the end, which we are now to, I'm going to cut it just a slightly larger, I don't know, maybe a 1/4 inch or ish. Just going to cut, can you see? Just cut that little bit right there. And I'm going to put a little bit of Mod Podge down on top of the fabric. Remember, it's going to dry clear. And then, yeah, I'm just going to push it right down onto it. Super easy. Easy breezy. And it's pretty. And it has a pretty look to it. If you want to, this is another optional thing. But once this bottom coat, once the bottom coat of Mod Podge is dry, if you want to protect the fabric even, you can put a light coat of Mod Podge on top of the fabric. And again, it's gonna take care of any little fingers that touch it, make it easy to clean, to dust off, all of those things. Okay. But again, same thing. Let's make sure that Mod Podge is completely dry before you get ready to put a top coat on it. Okay. So this one has a top coat on it, and it does change the texture a little bit. It's not going to be as soft. It's going to feel a little more, I don't know, gritty. I don't know. I'm not really sure how to describe this feeling I'm feeling right there, but it is going to protect it, right? You could literally come in and wipe this down with the baby wipe or a washcloth if you got something on it. Okay. Whereas you couldn't really do that too much if it's just the actual fabric. So if you have little fingers in your home, it might be a good idea to go ahead and just do a light top coat over your fabric. Okay. Yes. Gail says she's got fabric laying around. Yes, yes, yes. So now you have an idea of what you can do with all that scrap. Okay, so let's go back to our canvas and let's talk about changing this to not look so white, right? Not look so white. And I'm going to do this with a little bit of my brown ink. This ink is called, the color of this is amaretto, but any kind of brown, any kind of fall color, really. Okay, any kind of fall color. So another way that you can use your inks, as I mentioned, you could use like the little makeup sponges. You could use a foam, like a little dauber. Some of you, if you're a paper crafter, you may have some little daubers that fit on your finger that you could do. But there is another way. I'm just taking just a regular paintbrush and I'm going to swirl it. I'm just going to kind of swirl it around on top of my ink pad. Okay. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to kind of swirl it onto the white part of my canvas. Now I'm sticking mainly to the outside edges, the outside of the frame. If you want to even do a little bit of inking over the edges of the fabric, you can do that too. We haven't put any, it's fine. Now I am doing this on top of the top coat. Remember the top coat, right? So this is over the top coat. So what I'll do is when I'm done, when I'm happy with the amount of inking, I like to go a little heavier sometimes on the corners. When I'm happy with the inking, I'm going to use my heat gun on this because it's going to help set the ink into the Mod Podge. It just kind of bakes the ink into the Mod Podge. And again, you can go as light or as dark as you want, or you could leave it just the solid white. I just wanted it to have a little bit more of a fall feel. I decided to leave my inside here fairly white, but let me show you something, okay? If you wanted to, after you've gotten, I'll just use a paper towel here, okay? After I've gotten this, I've been using it, you can kind of just dry brush some of it off. And if you want to just kind of dry brush just a little bit in here, just to kind of tone down the white just a little bit, we can. I don't want it to be nearly as dark as the outside. Maybe go a little heavier on the blank spots, but just to kind of tone down the white a little bit. I mean, it's very, very subtle. Okay. You see just a little bit versus how dark it is over here. Okay. So again, just kind of personal preference on that. Now, what if you start using your ink and you're like, oh my gosh, I do not like this. I do not like this. Grab a baby wipe or a damp paper towel. Okay, this has a damp right here. And because we have not heat set it yet, you can go in and you can wipe it away because it's just sitting on top of the Mod Podge right now. So if there's anywhere that you feel like got too heavy, I'm going to do that kind of in here too, because it just helps blend that a little bit more. Then yes, you can absolutely go in and clean it up before you heat set it. Okay. All right. Okay. So now I'm going to heat set it. I'm happy with it. I think it looks good. So I'm going to bring my heat tool in, and this can also be a blow dryer just on its highest, like on its hottest setting, really just the hottest setting. And it's just going to take a minute. We're just basically we're helping the ink to dry, but it's also kind of baking the ink into the Mod Podge. Okay. And then that way it's not going to transfer off. Just kind of heat setting it in there. Good. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do is add a little bit of pin work. Okay, just a little bit of pin work. I like to do this with the Faber-Castell Pit Pin. They're my favorites to use on napkin art. This is a medium, which is the 0.7. the ink in Pitt pens is called India ink. And so it is, when it's dry, it's steadfast, which means not only is it waterproof, it won't react with water again, but it won't react with any moisture again. So like if I wanted to put glossy accents down in a spot, or I wanted to stickle in a spot, I don't have to worry that something's going to happen. So I'm going to come in here just so that you can see that this really doesn't need a lot of pen work. But just so I can show you, I'm going to come in and just outline the little fall leaves up here. Okay, there's really, because I was able to design these myself, there's really just not a need for too much pen work, but you can kind of see the black around the leaves right there. I'm going to also do it around this green leaf down here. That's really the only places. Everything else already kind of has that kind of doodly, artsy, doodly kind of look. Okay, just want you to see that this is when you would add your pen work. Yeah, if you decide to outline anything, words or anything like that, I would use a smaller nib, right? Maybe the extra small or the small. We sell them in a pack of 4. So there's an extra small, small, medium, and a brush tip. And it's like the perfect combination of pens for pen work. For doodling, journaling, all the things. So anyway, okay, so we've got this part done. Now let's go ahead and work on decorating. Let's go ahead and start working on our decorating. So I'm going to show you how to make a bow. This is one of my go-to bows that I love to do when I'm presenting, especially when I have new people watching, because I feel like so many of us out there sometimes are challenged when it comes to bows. So here's what I want you to do first. You've got a long piece of jute in your kit. For those of you that got a kit, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a small bow, because we're going to attach a little small bow to the pumpkin on our canvas here in a minute. So I want to go ahead and just make the little smaller bow first. I don't know, about like that, about that size. And then just clip that off. We can trim the tails and stuff here in a little bit. So I'm going to make a little bow and just put that to the side. Now with the rest of my jute here, this is going to help me to make this bow out of my ribbon. Okay. The other thing I like to have handy is a clothespin, just a plain old clothespin, or if you have some kind of a clip, something. This becomes my third hand. Okay. I need to watch my time. Am I doing okay on time? Okay. I'm doing okay. I have a hard time with these things. Trying to do what I want to do in an hour is hard for me. All right, so I'm crisscrossing whatever fabric I have left. This will be the tails. Where I crisscross, do you see how it looks like a tribute ribbon? Where I crisscross will be the center of the bow. And then I'm going to grab kind of right here at the top center of this big loop and just pull it behind and then scrunch everything up. This, I'm going to look at it and I'm going to say, okay, yeah, that looks pretty good, but maybe I want my loops to be a little bigger. So I can just bring my intersection down a little bit. And bring that top of the loop behind the intersection and just scrunch it all up. All right, that looks good. I'm going to take my clothespin now and just kind of pin over all of it. Okay, that's going to hold it together. I'm going to take my remaining jute here and I'm going to tie this off in the center. This is great for ribbon, thick ribbon especially, because you know how thick ribbon is so hard. You get a big chunky knot in the middle and you don't always want that. So now I'm tightening it, but I also want to be sure, like if I need to maneuver it, if I'm a little off center, but I think I'm pretty good right there. Looks pretty good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and now make a bow out of my jute. Go ahead and tie off a bow here in the center, and I'm going to make it pretty big loopy bow. It's up to you. You can make it big, make it small. The next thing I'm going to do is kind of even out my tails. Actually, I better use these scissors. And I'm going to do a little flag end on each one. So to flag end, this is what I do because I'm one of those people that I know most people fold the fabric or the paper or the ribbon. I'm one of those people that for whatever reason, when I fold it, I tend to always cut it the wrong way. And then I have to unfold it again, and I'll be darned if I don't cut it the wrong way again, and then my tail is way too short. So I'm going to show you how I get my flag end here. I simply just cut a slit right up the center to about as high as I want it to go. Can you see that? Still slit. And then I go from the corner to the top of that slit and the other corner to the top of that slit. That's how I do them now. All right, so now we're ready to assemble. Are you guys ready? Okay, so first thing, let's do the bow and stuff on the top. And I'm going to use one of the browns up here on the top, and I'll tell you why, because I have my red and my orange faux leaves here. So I'm going to throw in the brown, and then look here what I have left. I have a brown, kind of the orangey gold, and the red. So I kind of have the same color combinations. So that's why I did 2 brown leaves. All right, just going to use hot glue for this. I'm going to add some hot glue. Whoops. Hang on, got a little blob going. I'm going to put some hot glue right here in the center, and I'm going to do it kind of like a line. I need more. I need another glue stick here. Okay, so I kind of have a line of hot glue here. I'm going to put my fingers inside the loops. My thumbs are inside the loops because I'm going to position this bow where it's looking at me. Okay, it's looking at me. The front of the bow is looking at me. I'm not putting it down flat. The front is looking at me. And just let that, let the glue just catch it wherever. We can always go back in and add in some more glue. That's an easy thing to do. If you want to put little knots in the tails of your jute, you can. That's always cute. Go ahead and do that. All right, now we have a little problem because look, the tails are too long and they're hanging over our advice, and we don't want that. Do you see how the bow's looking at me? Right? That's what I want you to do. Have it looking at you. So this is what we're going to do. We are going to be what I call the boss of our bow. We're going to pull these. All right, we're going to pull these tails upward. And I'm going to take a little bit, again, just a little bit of hot glue. Here we go. I'm pulling them upwards. Just a little bit of hot glue to get the tails to stay up. A little hot glue here. Little hot glue here, and that way I want to be able to see all of my cute advice. Okay. Yeah, you can kind of maneuver it if you want some of the tails kind of hanging down, but this is important. We don't want to cover this part up. Now let's do our faux leaves next. So I like to do something when a leaf is big like this, and I'm hoping that I can explain this well enough. I'm going to first just put a little line of glue. You'll see that little kind of line of glue, and I'm gonna kind of just squeeze the center together. All right, and this is what happens. Do you see how that just made my leaf more dimensional? I squeeze the centers together. All right, let me show you on this one. I don't want them being so flat. So again, just a little line of glue. And then I'm going to go like this. Just kind of up and squeeze. Kind of goes through, the hot glue kind of goes through the leaf. But now my leaf looks more like this. I'll spread it so you can kind of see. Okay. All right. Now they're just not so flat and funny looking. Okay, next I'm going to pull up the loop on one side of the bow here. I just got to get some hot glue in here. And a nice little blob of hot glue is going to go in here. And here comes my leaf. I'm just going to plop that leaf in there, kind of on its side. Okay, so it's kind of on its side. I just got to hold it for a second. Cute. See how it's just kind of sticking up now? See it from here? Sticking up. This is just our first step. All right, same thing here. Hang on. My glue stick was coming out. All right, so I'm going to fold it out. And again, just kind of on its side. Okay. Just going to hold it for a second. We want things to look dimensional and kind of alive up here. This also helps your bow to stand up. It helps your loops of your bow to kind of stand up. Can y'all see that? Now, if things aren't quite working out, remember, you are the boss of the bow. You can just put a little drop of glue here, little drop of glue here, wherever you need to attach the leaf to the loops or whatever you need to do, right, to get it to stand the way you want it to stand. I'm going to take my brown leaf here, and this is going to go right in the center of my bow. So again, another nice little blob here. And I'm just going to kind of hold it for a second. So it's going to grab. Look how cute that is. Everybody see that okay? I know, I forgot to do my trick with the glue stick. I usually put a little drop of glue on the end of the glue stick so that it won't fall out. Yeah. Isn't that cute? Okay. So now we've done our topper. Let's go ahead and decorate the rest of our canvas here. As I mentioned, the little tiny bow here, I'm going to go ahead and put knots in the tails. But I thought we should do something to kind of accentuate, accent the pumpkin. I think he's so cute. And of course, he's the one giving advice here, right? He's our advice giver. So I feel like we need to make him kind of special. It's hard to do these little knots when you have hot glue, dried hot glue on your fingers. Who else likes peeling glue off their fingers? I like doing that. All right, let me cut these down just a little bit. So again, just going to put a little bit of hot glue right here at the base of the stem. And boom, just put it on there. So cute. Make that really kind of stand out. And then let's have a little fun with some of our other leaves here. So where we have this offset, yeah, we're going to put down a few leaves. And by the way, if you want to do more than one ink color, let me show you this. I forgot, I meant to show you this when I was inking these earlier. So like this orangey color, look, I can come in and just do the edges with another color. Isn't that pretty? So that just really starts to bring out the fall look. Okay, so again, just hot glue for this. And remember that leaves can fall every which way. So we're going to put a couple of them kind of falling over here. And then I'm going to put one down here kind of in the corner. So cute. Make sure I haven't covered up any of my advice. All right. Now, you may think we're done, and we pretty much are. We pretty much are. But to, again, just to add a little fun accent, I'm going to show you. Do you see how these are glossy? I added a little bit of glossy accents. Look at my pumpkin too. On my pumpkin and these two leaves, not the wooden leaves. And so glossy accents looks like this. It actually comes in 2 different size bottles. This is the smaller bottle, which I actually really prefer. It has a tip on it, just kind of like Stickles does. But it's glossy. It's going to come out really wet. Oops, this is one I already had open. Let me. Okay. All right. And it stays where you put it. It's dimensional. So it's going to be also be just a little bit milky. I'm just using the tip. I'm squeezing out a little bit and using the tip to color it in. But I'm going to leave this flat and let it dry. But when it's dry, it just looks so cool. It just adds another layer, another element. I didn't want to use stickles on my fall one. We're going to look back at the Halloween one here in just a second. So it's going to look very, very wet. Very, very wet. It will dry crystal clear. Okay, and over here, I'm going to put it on the entire pumpkin and the green leaf. Just something to make it stand out. If you wanted something to sparkle on your fall one, you could definitely do that. And actually, I could have even just put my bow on and dropped it into the glossy. I didn't think far enough ahead with that, but that's okay. I'm just lifting it up. I'm just going to let it fall right back in. So just make sure you have everything covered. It kind of self-levels. It will self-level some on its own. And if you get any little like bubbles, you can use like a little pin to pop the bubble. But I have found, I want to put some on the stem too. I have found that just using my heat gun over it a lot of times will pop the bubbles. So if you did have a bubble, sometimes you can just come in and apply a little heat. It just kind of pops on its own. Okay. So again, you can see it looks a little milky, but it's going to dry crystal clear. And it's just, again, just another fun way to kind of, make your project pop. Let's go ahead and look at this one over here. So when it dries, it's going to look like that. Isn't that cool? Yeah, I love it. All right. We have made the Advice from a Pumpkin canvas. We've done it. I'll let this sit for a while till that's nice and dry. Let's look really closely, really quickly. I think I have some time. Oh, I have 3 minutes. Okay, let's take 2 minutes to look at this one. I did the exact same thing, you guys. So when you make your Halloween one, again, you're going to take off the 2 plies off of your napkin. You're going to put your napkin art down. You can either sand the edges off or just decoupage the edges on. This boo is fabric. You're going to put it on also with Mod Podge, just like I did on Advice from a Pumpkin. The only difference with this one is I used this well, here, I'll show you. It's the same. I used the black and white twine here to tie off my ribbon bow. You're going to make the bow the same way. But then I added this orange and white bow and tied that into, I made the bow and then just tied it in with my black and white twine that was already hanging from the fabric bow. And then tied my bow on top here. Everybody has a little jack-o'-lantern in their kit to put in the center. And then every kit has 2 little spooky friends. They're all different. So this one's a ghost and a bat. There's a spider. There's a cat, a black cat. There's several different cute little spooky creatures that you can add a couple of those onto your Advice from a jack-o'-lantern. And then this one, I did use stickles, right? Like I think you can see, do you see the sparkle all over the orange frame? That is all stickles. There's stickles in the yellow parts of the jack-o'-lantern. There's stickles over here on this there's another little jack-o'-lantern peeking back there. Also some on the little haunted house. Also some on all the little stars. Like, I don't think you can stickle this one enough. Like, stickle is let me show you in case you don't know. It's like a glitter glue. Okay. And I love it because it's not loose glitter and you put it on just like I was putting on the glossy. I did put glossy on the jack-o'-lantern, and the haunted house. And then this is the part I'm not sure you're going to be able to see very well. Every let's see. Advice from a jack-o'-lantern: never let your light go out. Find your own porch to sit on and never stop smiling. And this one, enjoy the view. I put glossy on and I let it kind of be drippy. And I know it's going to be really hard to see, but can you see the drippiness? Like I purposely dripped it so it would look kind of like ooey gooey. And then some of them I just put pounced on stickles with my finger. So you can see, like, don't see up here, advice from a jack-o'-lantern. Can you see that kind of ooey gooey look? That's from Glossy Accents. This is just me pouncing on a little bit of stickles over some of these. Okay, so kind of bring it down. Just have fun with it, right? Just have fun with it. But I felt like this one really needed to sparkle. And again, don't forget, especially with your Halloween one, if you want your canvas to glow, okay, it's 12 o'clock. I have to say bye. If you want your canvas to glow, get a tea light, just set it back here, turn it on at night, and your canvas will glow. Okay. So thank you so much for watching today. Again, if you want a kit, we still have some kits available. You guys have been awesome. The next person you're going to hop over to see is Tamara with Southern Adornments. So hop over into the Jingle and Mingle Facebook group to watch her presentation, which is starting right now. So hop on over there. And again, thank you so much. This has been super fun, and you guys keep creating. All right. Bye, everybody. Yes, Ellen, you can use it on scrapbook paper. I'm going to go ahead and answer a couple questions. Yes, you can use it on scrapbook paper. All the things. All right. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you. And thank you so many of you ordered kits in advance. I appreciate you for that as well. So you guys take care. I hope you really enjoy making these. Bye, everyone.